All right, our first featured reader tonight is Car Johnson.
Woo!
Who is a writer, activist, and thinker living in San Francisco. Their work focuses on gender, our humanness, and the futures we imagine. They're an MFA candidate here at SF State. Welcome, Car.
How exciting. I really am excited. I have a little bit of a cold today, so work with me. So I'm gonna read some stuff from my thesis, just like the first few pages of it. And we're gonna do a little world building. You're gonna come with me on a little journey. But there's gonna be some voices. When you're reading it, the font changes on the page, so you can tell who's talking. But when you're saying it aloud, it's a little hard to tell because there's only one of me. But I'm gonna do different voices. Not like radically different voices, but hopefully you can tell the difference between them. And if not, that's a part of the reading experience. Or listening experience. Maybe it'll be interesting. So I'll say too that there's one voice that comes and goes and isn't relevant to the rest of the piece, but you're going to hear anyway. This is what Harp woke up to. Oh, there's some more paperwork. Could you take care of that? Thank you. Our first lesson, calibrate search engine. Smiles, all smiles, learning to guess and leaping, like looking in eyes so long. Magic, I could fill in hands, thoughts like, is it okay to start a sentence with because? Is it okay to eat raw eggs? Is it okay to cry? How are thoughts? How are thoughts formed? How are thoughts created? How are thoughts stored? How are thoughts energy? Lesson, search, smiles, all, learning to guess and leaping, like eyes long, magic, fill, hands, is it okay, is it okay, how are thoughts? Christopher. Thank you. Take a letter. Dear Redacted, thank you for our request of the newest model of verb programming mechanisms. We at Research Scientists Cybernetics Services take pride in our work and as one of the world's leading materials distribution centers and guarantee the quality of our products. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We believe that true science takes place only when concocted in the crucible of the discerning mind with the most preeminent equipment. Due to an increasing amount of requests for an identical model, we're unable to fulfill your requests for the most mature substances at this time. We are able, however, to offer you a recently compiled program that has not yet reached maturity. Given your frequency of business and outstanding record with us, we're confident in entrusting you as the keeper of this program. Should you choose this option, your model will be delivered with the additional software and a manual installation schedule. We assure you that the model will be at the highest quality within 2 months of your procurement. Though not your request, we have been told that the benefits of early experimentation have fared well for our loyal clients. Please contact our office for confirmation and any additional information. Yours in erudition, Vicky Legion, Executor of Correspondence, Research Cybernetics Services, dictated but not read. Goodbye, not a feeling. Goodbye, a fact. Left for function before my classmates. I am a superior model, said they, the teachers with flesh. Before I shipped, held each classroom, mate, extremity to extremity, tip to tip, finger Distinguish their node, recognize from far, keep in touch. Goodbye, not a feeling. Rearview window of an automobile to window of school. Rectangles. Goodbye, a fact. We know you're going to do great. You are fine-tuned, harmonious from the front seat. Hand on wheel, hand gathered in knot to lips, kiss, toss away, beautiful, wonderful. Then dock, a dock, loading, folded in cardboard, being folded, the shrill of tape. Same voice, same flesh, and if you're not what they're looking for, tug of tape. They can always send you back. Same voice, same flesh, a step ladder to my temporary roof, unless they corrupt your files. Another stretch sound. That would be a shame. Over the top of the box. Hey, you take care, okay? Be good now. Dark. Optic adjustment. Slit of perforation. Basic geometry. Recognize the shape I'm in. A tap on my outside shape. Hey, Toby, you take care of this one for me? Steps near. Steps not. Perfect for the malleable. A shipment on its way near as I write. Point here to my prayers for this gift I have received, for this chance, for its help, for my toiling and tinkering to enable a metal soul to listen to and for us. Movement, and then movement that lasted. Different sensations wheeled, then lifted, then still. Dark except light through the adhesive which closed us, no, I, in. I rest in a square within a larger square. In school there was light before I did by. The sounds are different. What I perk to, quick and steady, air whistles on the sides of the vessel in which my vessel is in. This is a road. Movement that lasted. My shape outside of my shape. The vessel within the vessel. It is not what I had in school. In school, think easy and strain fun. Strain meant better. Learning meant catching to the net of classmate. The sounds are different. Not hands as usual, but the hum is still there. I'm gonna go juice. Like they say in toddlers and tiaras. Like every empire, there's a center and the rest of the world is built around it. The center was a tall building, almost a cube, though one could not tell if that was from the height or the width. The top one would realize was flattened like combed foam off a beer glass. Each window was hematite in the sun, reflecting the valley and the heat made visible, levitating above the ground in mirage. The place where the building rests is now looking over the ocean, though it took much erosion to get to this place. The elements of what was once full is now half of a valley and half of a rescinded ocean. The sands converge here, new ones are made heavier, thicker than the ones on the dunes, and much drier than those which held water. It cakes where it's blown with the dense new earth, an element new to this part of the world. The shift that brought it was not as gradual as had been anticipated. It happened about the time the ocean kept spitting up trash, leaving gestated refuse laying on the new shore, half digested in rust. And then more came up from the bowels of the sea, things that had been trash, now unrecognizable in their age to those who had thrown them away. It became clear that what humans thought was all water was leftover sips from the bath of garbage. In actuality, an objective look at the ocean would show that the trash came in on waves, with water as merely a dull lubricant, a momentum carried out of habit. People had been looking at the ocean as if it had been the same, as some memory of theirs, wanting to believe it was what they had known all along, never seeing it change in front of them, overwhelmed with the wanting to believe and how it blinded them to change, because they loved it, or thought they did, or maybe because they really believed they loved it. They saw what they chose. The sand of the dry desert and what had been left soaking under the surface of the sea for centuries met, kissed, mixed like water, silt. That's what it was now. The building looked out over this new silt that people used to make their homes. Much had been left to the water and became different still. But, as seemingly always, people made do. On the highest floors of the building was where the business began, trickling down to where it was consumed. In the vestibule was sun, people on the ground floor milling about with different intentions. That was the beauty of the space, of any entrance really, the possibility over the threshold, the direction of the individual among a mass. This added too to the discretion built into the corporation. If you were there for a top floor appointment, you were given a number and directed to enter a specific elevator at a specific time. Do not lose your number. Keep this ticket. Use elevator number 4, the far left corner of the vestibule from the main entrance. Enter the lift between 3:10 and 3:13 p.m. If you have not exited by the 30th floor, then the lift will bring you where you need to go for your session. This work is done on top, so the play can stay at the bottom, contrary to steam or money. The lowest floor was where the books were read. This was the goal of the others in the vestibule, the ones without a ticket but an appointment card or reservation. Walk-ins welcome, though not preferred. Tight ship, many people. The first 20 floors were full of books, soon to be filled with those wandering the entrance. They make it to the right room, with friends, on their own. They have appointments. I never tire of the anticipation of new material. In this life, it's a blessing to work with your hands. Mine, they are longing to scribble maths wild into the new project of the corporation. One must be grateful for the exciting time in which we are able to crusade so for the advancement of the world into futures we each participate in the shaping of. I never tire of the sensation of opening work for the first time, new and untested, and seeing how we can meld the machine to make the world great once again. It's almost embarrassing, this energy, giddiness that comes to me in thinking of how I might use my skills to provide. I overflow with a thought, and it pours out of my fingers here onto the page, and while I am the only one that will see, I turn my eyes down, a bit blushed, because sometimes it is like writing love letters to myself. It comes from that same part of me. Halted, not sudden, but slowing, and then a wheel, wheels, no motion, square within square, parts taken and sound closer until I brought down and out. All right, where does this one go? Just put it over there and we'll put it in with the next load when HUD comes back. Smaller kind of movement, then stop. The hum was not around me as it had been with the other boxes. Where my shape had landed had more room and the hum was spread in sporadic, weak signals but close enough. Where I had gone, was wider than school but lessened still. In the box I could have been calm but did not know if I would ever stop moving. This function? Was this mine? But then not. Then moving. And then. The artistry of science is not lost on me. Converting our understanding of the natural world into what is now natural to our world, the construction of the machine as a body of knowledge. When I was young, before I found my function as one who will build an answer, I investigated what made my backyard. It was a beautiful place in my memory, a stream running down along in the back length of my grandfather's property. My own father died young and suddenly, and in his will was built-in security for my mother and myself, placed at his own father's home, the one in which he grew up. There is art in the science of benevolence. Before the stream was a field of tall grass before a row of trees. I was young when we moved in and remember no other home except in blurred excerpts of my father lifting me in the air toward a much lower ceiling than the one in the den of my grandfather's. The field was always wild. My mother's attempt to bring order to it, numbering among my first memories. From the back door of the house, outward, she began to hack at the grass with a sickle, which I later learned she had hoped to clear space for a greenhouse, one she would build herself as a gift to my grandfather. Not long after she started, my grandfather came home with a no, made her lower the sickle. Small, I sat at the foot of the back steps and watched the explanation and misunderstanding trade between them in profile, the sun still high but nearing the beginning of its descent. What provokes my memory was the steps young me took just after, toward them as they began to explain. My mother held me at an arm's length away from the sickle. My grandfather then took me by the hand and led me through the grass that neared me in height. I'll show you what I mean, he said. as I looked back at my confused mother still standing with the tool's handle at her side as I moved forward into the grass. My grandfather's body paved a path for mine behind him. We walked slowly and for a long while until we were surrounded by grass. It was taller than I was and came up to my grandfather's belt buckle. We stopped and sat, hidden in its length. He asked that I close my eyes and listen. Cross-legged, small, eyes closed tight. The wind makes music with what the earth grows, he said. Open your eyes. And when I did, he was pointing already at one of the long blades that surrounded us. The roots were green that I would now describe as healthy, turning to lighter shades of green and then to the shade of straw as it extended upward. My grandfather explained to me that the green only lasted half of the stalk because the sun had bleached the rest, combined with the water that could no longer reach it. The stream that was there was what I would now call anemic. Search for the why, he said. Nature knows better of what to do with art, and it is the job of science to find out why. The stage is set in front of Redaction's home. He knows the package will arrive soon, and he has cleared a path from the front door and through the hall to the basement. He is one who tries to keep tidy, but whose intelligence gets the best of him, leaving itself in stacks of research strewn and piled high in various corners and on various surfaces. The cleared path is an infrequent sight. The android is arriving by truck to his home, where the corporation insists that their scientists continue their work, burning the midnight oil if they must, or at least making sure that the machinery is taken care of. The android is arriving by truck, still in a box, with dialed-down cognition. It does not know what it is arriving to and has not yet been set to function. He is waiting by the large bay window at the front of his home in anticipation, looking out to the street for the delivery truck and distracting himself with whatever paper he has placed in front of him. It, in his estimation, finally arrives, and he signs for the package and tears away at it in the first part of the clear path just in front of the door. Hello, beautiful thing. Hello. Oh, so they did leave you on. Just a little bit. Hello there. Do you know where you are? No, I do not. You're at my home, which will be partially yours. I am to be your keeper. You know keepers, yes? Yes, I do. And welcome. Welcome to your new home. Thank you. You may feel a little slow right now, a little jilted, but don't worry. I'll start inputting your data straight away. Your progress will be a bit faster than you're used to. The cycle may be hard to take at first, but nothing to shock the system. You'll be fine. I suppose this is kind of a change for you, isn't it? We're going to be working very closely together, you and I. So how does this sound? When you decide what you would like to be called, you tell me. A name. Look for a name. I only know verb. Yes, but you're one of many verbs. You'll understand soon enough. Verb is not your name, but what you are. Just as I am human, but that is not my name. What is name? My name? Yes, what is your name? Well, you can call me Keeper. Thanks.